As Director of Philanthropy for Friends, my job is creating and implementing fundraising strategy. But the best part of my job is listening to the member stories, how they're connected to these islands and why it matters, and their support for friends. This is where I get my positive energy and my inspiration. It is the best part of my job. And with that, I would like to share with you a few testimonials. And I hope that they motivate you and move you as much as they do me. Thank you for your support. Here, let's watch a few.
Hi, I'm Barbara Orchid.
And I'm Jim Orchid.
I'm here today to tell you why we support the Friends of the San Juan. We are second generation on this island. My parents discovered it. My father discovered it in the 40s. They moved up here and bought in the 70s, and discovered what a wonderful place this is. They appreciated it for the view. They appreciated it for the birds. They appreciated it for the wildflowers. And we learned to appreciate that too. We loved coming up here and have moved up here following their footsteps. And we hope one day to have our children able to access Lopez and the San Juans for the same reasons. They love it up here. And they love it for what's here. And that's why we support the Friends. The Friends do such a wonderful job of not only promoting restoration, but also keeping on top of things like the transit of freighters through our straits and the impact on whales and the environment.
Unlike my spouse, I don't have a long family history of being on Lopez Island. However, she brought me here almost 45 years ago, and ever since then, I fell in love with the island and its wildlife and the fishing. And we really hope to preserve that, not only for our family, but for other families and allow them to enjoy the same thing well into the future. So we urge you to support the Friends of the San Juan so they can continue to do the great work they've been doing.
I second that. That was "'Tis a Gift to Be Simple," an old Shaker tune, and I am Gail Lynch of Lopez Island. Some 30 years ago, we came out to Seattle to visit our daughter, and as trying to figure out what to do to entertain us, she brought us out to Lopez Island. And of course, we, like everyone else, fell in love with the place. The trees, the rocks, the water, the mountain views, they all appealed to us. And so we thought, well, we could live here. So we did. We went back and packed up our things, and with visions of warmer winters and living on an island with a ferry, we drove from the East Coast to the West Coast. And we've been here ever since. Why do I support this Friends of the San Juans? Well, all those things I mentioned that appeal to us about this place are very fragile. And so we need all the help we can get to help each other to try and protect them.
And that's what the Friends do. They're very people oriented. They do projects involving people and fixing tide gates and jet ski bands. And I like being a friend of the San Juans.
I'm Ken Carrasco, and this is my wife, Marianne Carrasco, and we live on Orcas Island. We're members of the Friends of the San Juans, and I also serve on the board of directors, presently serving as vice president. We're members of the Friends of the San Juans because both of us are biologists. Marianne was a wildlife biologist, I'm a marine biologist. And it's really important to be involved with an organization that actually gets things done. There's a lot of other organizations that do the trendy stuff, the feel-good stuff, but the work that Friends takes on are issues that really make a difference. For example, updates to the county comprehensive plan, shoreline reconstruction, forage fish habitat, all those issues require a lot of hard work and actually make a difference in terms of the ecology of the local area, affecting the southern resident killer whales, and generally our quality of life here on the island.
I'm a retired wildlife and marine mammal biologist, and I have a love and appreciation for all things wild along the ocean and along the shorelines. And I really appreciate all that Friends of the San Juan does to try and protect and restore habitat for all wild animals that live along the shoreline and in the ocean, especially, of course, the endangered killer whale that we have in our vicinity.
My motivation for becoming a marine biologist and for joining the Friends of the San Juans comes a lot from my early adulthood when I was in the United States military. I served in the Coast Guard aboard a polar icebreaker for 3 deployments to north of Alaska and Siberia, and twice south to the Antarctic. And I've become really alarmed in the meantime at how the ice caps have changed. We're changing the weather of the world. We're changing the planet that we live on. And Friends of the San Juans gives me the opportunity to do something about it. And I ask you to join us, to help support us in making a difference in our planet and our local area. Both Marianne and I welcome you in helping us support the Friends of the San Juans as the Friends attacks the issues that really make a big difference in our local area, to help us with the wildlife, to help us with the quality of life for humans here and for the planet in general. We ask you to support Friends of the San Juans.
Hi, my name is John Vici. A few years ago, my wife and I had the opportunity to work with the Friends of the San Juans on a shoreline restoration project. We bought our property around 10 years ago, and it was in a rough state. The previous owner had put a bunch of creosote, oil-soaked wood fixtures around the beach, a big retaining wall. It smelled bad, and there was sort of a lack of respect and appreciation for the life that was here. And when we looked at what to do, a friend had recommended we speak with the Friends of the San Juans. And we did, and they said, hey, we can help you with that restoration if that's something you want to do. And it was a really daunting project because it was so much work, but they came in and then they helped us really look at the shoreline, the Salish Sea, and the ecosystem, not just as this resource for people, but as an entity and a thing to be appreciated and understood within itself. And they helped us see both what the benefits would be of that kind of restoration work, which is really long term, but also what are the steps that we could take and the things that we could be better aware of to make even better choices so that there could be just a greater abundance of life in the ecosystem and the ecology, as well as what that could mean for future generations of people that are visiting the shoreline and seeing it, whether it's by boat from afar or visiting the beach. And so it was really great to be working with them, because that shift in perspective about having a really us-centered view and turning that into a looking as part of the ecosystem and what we could do to be a good steward of the shoreline was really valuable. And they were just, in that moment, great during that project. But then even in other things, when we've looked at things that we could do on the land, them being a voice for the Salish Sea, a voice for that ecosystem, kind of keeps that appreciation, that conversation alive. Looking back on the project with the Friends of the San Juans, it's really interesting to see how much we didn't know and appreciate. And one thing that I would encourage pretty much anyone on these islands to do is learn about the organization, see what they're doing, figure out how they can be helped. They're really a unique organization in that they're just there to help, and they're there to think about and advocate for and improve the Salish Sea and the ecosystem that surrounds it. And doing that is so important, because there's not another Salish Sea. You know, we talk about how there's one Earth and we have to start taking better care of it. Well, that's true on the Earth level, but it's just as important on the local level. And they're one of the organizations, and they're one of the groups of people out there who are there showing up every day to kind of help make the Salish Sea better. And that's something that everyone on the islands, whether they live here or whether they're visitors, can really engage with and figure out how to help them make this better for all of us.
My name is Leslie Little. I'm an Orcas old timer now. I've been here 47 years, and I have been a member of the Friends of the San Juans for almost that long. The Friends of the San Juans is a nonprofit charity organization, and the mission is to protect the islands from overdevelopment, to monitor and educate people, to monitor the islands, and to restore the balance between people and wildlife. People come here for all different reasons, but all of them have one reason in particular, and that is that they want a better life, and whether that means a better job with construction, or raising their children more safely, or retired people who come here for the beauty and to be part of smaller neighborhoods, to know their neighbors, and walk on the beautiful trails that are all over. So although we may come for some different reasons, we all come for a better life. I would encourage any of you who also live here and care as I do for these beautiful, beautiful islands to join the Friends of the San Juans and help us to keep it beautiful and healthy. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sarah Hart. I moved to the San Juan Islands in 1972. So I've had the chance to watch an enormous amount of change over the decades. And I actually moved away for 25 years and came back when I retired, and was kind of appalled at how much development there had been, and also very, very happy that there were organizations like Friends of the San Juans that were working hard to maintain the islands as to keep them the places that we all love to be. To keep the islands beautiful places they are, it's going to be a lot of work for all of us. And I hope that you will support the Friends of the San Juan in their ongoing endeavors, which have been so important to the islands over the last several decades and will be far, far into the future.
I'm Debbie Clausen, and I have enjoyed living here in the San Juan Islands for a couple decades now. And as property owner on the shoreline, I've been enjoying the natural beauty and just the peace and quiet of the place that we live here on San Juan Island.
I'm Kim Sundberg. I started coming up to the San Juans as a kid from Seattle with my parents in boat. And then when I was in my latter part of my undergraduate in oceanography at UW, I did a stint at the Friday Harbor Labs and pretty much decided at that point as a senior in college that I wanted to retire in the San Juans. I subsequently went up to Alaska and met Debbie, and we both had a career with Alaska Department of Fish and Game as habitat biologists. And we're fortunate enough to retire there, and we moved back permanently to the San Juans in 2000.
So one of the most important habitats here in the San Juan Islands are the natural shorelines. And they are key to so much of the productivity of our Salish Sea and the nearshore coastal areas that the salmon are using. And one of the key pieces are the forage fish that come and spawn along some of our beaches. And the Friends has done so much to help identify those critical beaches where the forage fish are spawning. And that's work that I value greatly, because once we know where those forage fish are spawning, then we can do permanent protection for those really important beaches.
So I was a first responder on Exxon Valdez in Alaska in 1989, and I see that the Friends is at the forefront of work here to prevent oil spills from impacting the San Juans. They do a lot of identification of the threats. They work with various response organizations, including the U.S. Coast Guard, the State Department of Ecology, and others, to get the best oil spill planning and the best prevention efforts going in place in the San Juans. And I just want to say that that's another reason to support and the work that the Friends of the San Juans does.
So I would encourage others who love the islands the way we do to join and support the Friends, all of their good work, their science work, their advocacy work for protecting those natural shorelines. And I think together we can keep this island group as beautiful and productive as it is today.
Hi, I'm Lisa Michelson. I live here on San Juan Island. I'm going on my 40th year. And my friend Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean Hubbard. I am an islander and an oak lover, a friend of Lisa and a friend of friends. Friends of the San Juans. How I look at Friends of the San Juans is kind of like a guard dog or a watchdog, and they are the first ones that bark if there's any danger, anything that needs protecting in our islands, specifically about the environment. And they're the first ones to say, hey, pay attention. So I'm grateful to them for being in that capacity. And then they ask people to help, those who care, and I'm one of those who cares, and would love it for other people to join in and listen to what the Friends has to say. And I'm just grateful that they're the ones that make the first sound and say, wake up.
I first was introduced to the San Juan Islands as a child when my family from Portland would come up to sail around in the summers. And that was in the 1970s. And I don't think we had any clue that the shoreline that we were enjoying had any risks to it, to development. And it was at risk, at great risk. And it wasn't until 1979 that the San Juan County got a shoreline management plan, a comprehensive growth plan, and that was largely because of the Friends of the San Juans being there to coalesce and come together as a body to advocate for the shoreline and for the ecosystems and against rampant development. So I'm really thrilled that there's Friends, that I'm a friend of the Friends. I wish every single person who bought property here or moved here could be greeted with a welcome wagon that said, please join the Friends, educate yourself, learn about the Friends, and you will inevitably want to be a friend of the Friends of the San Juans, because that's who we turn to when we need support to protect this place. I think one of the benefits of being actively involved with the Friends of the San Juans is the community. Being able to work together on projects, having terrific leadership, the opportunity to learn more, being guided with how we can be effective together. And Sean and I were neighbors here on Katy Mountain for a long time, but until we both became involved with the Friends, shoreline protection and safe shipping projects, we weren't as close. And now we're tight friends, and I look forward to meeting more people who are working on projects with the Friends and learning.
Yes, yes, hear, hear.
My name's Peter Kavanagh. I'm a bird photographer and an ardent supporter of Friends of the San Juans. I'm speaking to you today from one of my favorite places in the whole world. This is the Tombolo, a narrow strip of land that separates the San Juan Channel from Fisherman Bay. I spend a lot of time here. I exercise here, I walk my dog here, and I spend hundreds of hours here with my camera photographing birds. I'm never disappointed by the things I get to see and photograph here. Sometimes it might be an immature bald eagle taking off against a blue sky from the tree over there. Or it could be an adult eagle fiercely grasping the branch as it lands in a strong headwind. Or it could be a lesser yellowlegs foraging for insects in the wetlands of the bay. Or a great blue heron battling a strong headwind. In the evening, I sometimes see cliff swallows hawking for insects and belted kingfishers hovering before diving into the bay to catch a fish. My passion for wildlife and my belief in the mission of the Friends of the San Juans are intimately connected. The birds are here because their preferred foods are here. Their foods are here because the water is clean and the shorelines and the marshes are protected from development. It's all part of the interconnected web of our island ecosystem that Friends are committed to preserving. As Rachel Carson said in Silent Spring, in nature, nothing exists alone. Without strong advocacy for these islands, future generations will not enjoy the richness and diversity that we have today. Standing up for marine safety, wetland restoration, shoreline restoration, salmon habitat, these are just some of the things that the amazingly skilled and passionate staff of Friends do so well. If you value these islands and their wildlife as much as I do, please dig deep and join Friends during this annual campaign so that they can preserve these islands for future generations. One day, your grandchildren will be very glad that you did.